Oh yeah, back at Universal Studios Hollywood, starting off here at the parking structure where crews are continuing work on the surface lot project. I'm not going to pan down too much. There's a lot of construction crews here today, so I don't want to zoom in on too many people's faces. But yeah, activity is happening. It is a Monday at the time of filming the video, so I was expecting a lot of people on site, and yeah, it's nice to see. And I have no idea what this is all supposed to look like once it's complete. I feel like none of us do. It's all kind of a big mystery as far as how this is all going to be laid out, but it is fun to watch them dig around in the dirt. I'm sure it's going to ramp up even crazier here in the next few weeks. Now that the rain is gone, I'm sure the rain did not help when it came to trying to get as much done as possible, but now that the bulk of the storm system is gone, they can focus on really getting this knocked out, which will probably be pretty quick. That's pretty much all the noteworthy stuff over at the surface lot, so let's continue the journey into the front gate of the park. And before I do, hello everyone, welcome back to another Theme Park Obsession video. My name is Dylan, and thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. Yeah, we're hanging out at Universal Studios Hollywood today to check up on the usual updates, and a little bit later on in the video, I wanted to talk about the possible future here at the park, because I feel like they're about to announce some major expansion. I have a feeling that something big is on the way, because Mark Woodbury was already hinting at it. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the video, but first, let's head over to the Fast and the Furious coaster site. All these flowers are reminding me that this location is still sitting vacant. I'm wondering what they're going to put up here. This used to be the old Karl Strauss location, and then Starbucks was up here for a little bit before they moved into their permanent spot. Yeah, I don't know, flowers. In the meantime, just get ready for spring. And just like that, through the power of editing, I've made it in the park. It's not too bad today. Curious what the wait times are. Let's go over to the digital display and see what's going on. Let's see, we got 45 minutes for Forbidden Journey, 50 for Despicable Me. Yeah, it's a little busy in the park. 35 for Pets. Mario Kart had a 90. Some things are not bad, like Hippogriff was 15, so it's like a hit or miss with some attractions, but the big heavy hitters are the ones that are the most popular. Alrighty, let's see what's going on over here. And the show building's looking good. Slowly adding more details to that. It's a lot of crew members on site today. Ooh, yeah, look at this. We have some new track down here. So we have new pieces that lead down from the dive loop, and then we also have some new pieces for the wave turn. That looks really good. Wow, look at that. This wave turn looks so good. I mean, look at that angle. Just right off of the block break, too. So we're going to be cruising through the block break. We might not slow down too much. And we'll hit this right here. Boom. Yeah, that is incredible. That's going to be a really fun element, especially if we are spinning through it. Don't know which direction we're going to be facing, but wouldn't that be kind of cool if we were facing straight down? That'd be next level. Then we come out of the wave turn into a nice sized drop that will eventually lead to the dive loop element that will turn us around and get us back into the direction where I'm standing. You can see they've also put in a lot of support columns, so I feel like the only thing that we're waiting on are the track segments. So yeah, crews did quite a bit of work the past few days, even in the rain. So huge shout out again, as always, to all the crew members. Looks to be done. I can't see. Oh, there's a few more right there. There's a few more footings that still need some support columns, but yeah, I mean, they did a lot. And then panning over to the main show building, I'm not noticing anything different. Again, just bits of theming. You know, they're throwing the scenic on the building, so you're going to see different shades of paint and textures be thrown on there. But other than that, it's looking the same like my last video. Looks great though. Crews have been doing a really good job. And taking a peek inside the maintenance bay, yeah, we can't see anything. No coaster trains just yet. But eventually, maybe we'll get lucky and we'll see something, or they'll close the doors so we won't be able to see because they know we are watching. I believe this is the end of a double up, but you can see how far the LSMs are going to go. The LSMs are those magnetic fins that will help propel the train up into this element right here, the stall. They installed this one a few weeks back, and it is looking fantastic. But Yeah, the fins go a lot farther than I thought. So again, that just means that we're going to be going so fast. I mean, at least 70 to 75 miles an hour easily just to get up and over that stall. And speaking of magnetic fins, there they are right there. There are the trim brakes that have been installed. Now, we might not slow down too much. We might get lucky and still get a nice pop of airtime coming off of this hill right here. But that pretty much confirms that this ride is going to be a lot more intense than we think. Especially right here with this turn, I might pass out. That is a possibility. Yeah, I love the look of that wave turn. That looks so good. And you can see even further down, more pieces of track have shown up. So we have a little drop coming out of the wave turn, and we might do one little tiny drop after that, a little double down, and then we'll go up and into the dive loop. That will be that incredible inversion that will turn us around. But what's funny is, look at this, the direction of travel. I wonder if that was spray painted on a little wrong, because these other ones are pointing in the direction that we're going to be going, up into the inversion. But this one right here, yeah, I wonder if they spray painted that wrong, because it's not located where this side is. Right here, you can see the direction of travel is changed because we're going to be coming back up the hill. And they haven't added any more steel pieces to the sound wall. It's still looking the same from the past couple of videos, but again, now that those storms are gone, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more work on the wall continue. What's awesome is that this is the last section to receive track. Everything else is done. The layout is complete over here, so yeah, maybe a dozen or two more pieces to go, and the entire circuit will be complete. I think they can achieve this by the end of April easily. And then if we're really lucky, before the start of the summer season, we'll see some initial testing, maybe some pull-throughs, and then full-fledged testing the middle of summer. Yeah, it's looking great. They were able to get this done really fast. I'm still thinking we might be able to ride this sometime Grinchmas this year. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to achieve that. There's a nice long testing period to get their cycles in all summer and into the fall. And then, by the winter, yeah, I mean, maybe it'll be good to go and they could start to soft preview this thing, because I have a feeling if it's early 2026, if that's what they're aiming for, it's going to be like Super Nintendo World where, January or February, this thing will be open. But that's pretty much everything from this angle. So let's move on and make our way towards the escalator where we can get a nice view of everything. And I actually might ride the studio tour today because there are a few things to talk about on the studio tour today. So yeah, let's continue the journey. Now, I'm not 100% sure on this one, but it looks like they're doing an initial pull-through test near the drive tires before we head back into the load and unload. I could be completely wrong, so my fellow coaster nerds are going to have to help me out here. But that's what it looks like to me. It looks like just an initial pull-through test for possibly the drive tires or maybe some magnetic fins going in this spot. And speaking of the show building, it looks like some really good progress is happening on the inside. We have some possible drywall going up right there. Made it over here to the scariest ride in the park, that is the escalator. Yeah, I hope everyone's holding on. This thing is intense. I've already seen like 14 people throw up at the end. It's wild. But when it comes to the roller coaster, you can see that crews have now gotten to the stage, at least in this corner of the layout, where they have to start smoothing out the gap that is in between both pieces of track. Because when this stuff lines up, sometimes it's not 100% and you got to go in there with a tool and grind it down. So that way the transition from one track piece to another is seamless. It has to be as flush as possible, because what happens is if this is not a nice smooth transition, you're going to go through wheels like crazy. It's not good for the wheels that are going to be on the train itself. So that's why you're going to see these pieces in the track that are kind of like, that have been grinded down. Let me see if I can find another one here. Yeah, right there. So they'll go through the entire layout, grind these all down to make sure they're nice and smooth. That way the wheels don't take a beating. And then they'll go ahead and paint those over, so then it looks like when the track first got here. And there's one down here too. So yeah, it looks like only this side of the layout has gotten to that stage, and then eventually they'll make their way all the way through the rest of the layout. I don't even know if they've gotten over to the stall area just yet. Or actually, no, they have. I think that's, yeah, so they've smoothed that out. got that piece right there. And then it looks like up the top of the stall too. So yeah, some pretty good progress. It's not the most exciting task. It's definitely one of those tasks that's like, ah, dang, we got to go through the whole layout again. But they're moving quick. Yeah, and then here's another one right here. And then I think there's another one over here. Yeah, right there. You can see they've been grinding down that piece. Yeah, typically the wheels are made from a polyurethane, so you do not want there to be a horrible transition in between track pieces that will destroy that wheel. One thing that I forgot to mention when I was up the top deck there was they haven't installed the LSM fins that will go right there in the valley. I'm sure they're going to wait to the last minute for that just because they don't want those to be damaged. If those get damaged, that would not be good, and they'd have to get more shipped out from the manufacturer. So yeah, they're going to avoid that as much as possible. But everything else right here, though, is looking really good. And then here's another shot, better shot of that wave turn. Yeah, look at that. Right off the block brake, boom! And then into a nice drop that will lead to another one. You could see the support columns there that dip down just slightly more before we head into that element. Yeah, it's looking really good over there. And it looks like they're almost done with the concrete retaining wall too. So they'll slowly start to take down that scaffolding because over by the fire station, it's come down already. Look at that transition though, from the block brake. Look at how the elevation just completely changes so drastically. We got the block brake section at the top left, then we have the wave turn, and then boom, right into a nice size drop. This is going to be such a good hit for the park. I mean, this is going to be great. The park has needed this so badly. And the fact that we're finally getting a mega coaster is so darn cool. This is going to do really well. All right, let's move on, see what's going on over here. Yeah, they're still working on the hillside. It's like shrinking every single time I'm here. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and eventually they'll just get to the ground level there. Still no work happening behind Revenge of the Mummy. And then this building right here, I feel like is just one big mystery. I feel like they can level that if they need to, if this is a larger development, which is what I was going to talk about. I think Universal is like getting ready to announce something major because I think all of this is eventually going to go. A long time ago in the Evolution plan, they had talked about removing sound stages and consolidating them elsewhere, building new sound stages and taking these old ones out and expanding the theme park. So this has been a thing for a long, long time, and I think we're getting ready to finally see that. I don't know what this is supposed to be, but this could just be the start of it. Like this could be a precursor to what's going to be happening over here behind Revenge of the Mummy and Transformers. I mean, I don't see the park not wanting to expand, especially after the success of Super Nintendo World. This park had an incredible attendance boost from Super Nintendo World and Potter. And it seems like the park is getting more popular and popular the more they add. So yeah, why wouldn't Universal want to expand? And like I was saying earlier, Mark Woodbury, who's in charge of all the parks and resorts, has said that Universal Studios Hollywood is getting an expansion. Now, we don't know if he was talking about the coaster or something else, but I think he was talking about like a theme park expansion. So we might be seeing something extremely significant here very, very soon. Keep in mind that these sound stages have been replaced, so they could knock all this down if they really wanted to. So this right here is all sound stage. That building, that curved building back there, is usually where a lot of lumber and stuff is stored. So if they're building a set for a TV show or film, it usually happens in that building first, and then they ship it off to the rest of the studio. But they have all of this stuff, built elsewhere to where if they want to take this out, they're not losing anything. Over there at Soundstage 25, that's a relatively new soundstage, and its neighbor right next door is also new. And what's cool is those are multi-purpose. A lot of the new sound stages that they're building are multi-purpose, so it kind of makes up for those offices that are next to a lot of these sound stages as well. And off in the distance, you can see way over there where the flag is. Those 4 buildings are brand new. They just finished those not too long ago. And those each have 2 sound stages in them, but can be combined to create one large one. So yeah, I feel like Universal is covered. And then same thing with 30, 31, 32, and 33. Those are also new. The voice films in there. And my buddy Spencer from Best Life and Beyond, they were filming in one of those sound stages not too long ago for a television show. So yeah, all these new sound stages are ready to go. They're operating, and they make up for all these old ones that they still have on the lot. Which, I mean, look at the difference. You can see just from 17, 24, and 19 right here compared to these new ones off in the distance. Yeah, way more efficient over here in these new sound stages. So that's why I'm thinking if they're going to expand the park, it's going to be right here. If they were to get rid of all of this, like they're not going to touch the bungalows off there in the distance. The bungalows will stay. They still use those all the time. This building right here is a pretty active building. They might keep this. But everything over here, yeah, I think this is all ready to go. All of this. And look at how massive of a space this is. I mean, they could go all the way over to 14 if they really wanted to. If they took out 14 all the way over here to 19, oh, dude, you can like do what, 2 or maybe even 3 lands, maybe what, 4 or 5 new attractions in the spot. And if you include this, oh yeah, game over. And here's the thing, it also makes sense for Universal to continue to be aggressive here in Hollywood because look what's happening over at Disney. They're expanding the Avengers campus with 2 new rides. They're building a Coco ride and an all-new Pandora land. So at the bare minimum, that's 4 new rides coming to the Disneyland Resort. Universal is not just going to build a roller coaster and call it a day to compete. No, I have a feeling they're going to want to match that. Yeah, when Mark Woodbury was saying that this park is going to get an expansion, I don't think he was talking about this. There's no way. If anything, to me, this is a replacement. This is not an expansion. There's something else in the pipeline. You have Mark Woodbury saying Universal Studios Hollywood is about to receive an expansion, and he wants everyone to think of Universal first when they think of a vacation. You have the Simpsons contract ending here in just a couple of years, and Universal might even bail out early. You have some big question marks down in the lower lot just because they've been building all new sound stages to replace old ones, and they have been replacing old sound stages. You have the surface lot up front that's allegedly going to be a hotel. Well, why on earth would they build a hotel right now if they're just doing a roller coaster? I think the hotel is a precursor to what is eventually going to come. If they want this to be an expanded experience, if they want this to be a full day or a multi-day experience, then the hotel makes sense. And maybe even more than one hotel. I mean, we don't know. It's going to be so interesting to watch because, again, I don't think Universal is going to compete with Disney just with a roller coaster. There's no way. They're going to want to build like 4 or 5 new things. We might see new lands. They just teased about Wicked. They confirmed that they want to build Wicked attractions in their theme parks. We might even see the Land of Oz here. How cool would that be? And I think it would do really well here. So yeah, some huge question marks for Universal Studios Hollywood. And my best educated guess is that we are on the tip edge of something that is going to be major. Like, I'm talking one of the biggest announcements in the park's history, because it's everything's just kind of lining up to become that, which is very exciting, right, for Universal Studios Hollywood, because for a while this park has been, the half-day park. There's really, not too many rides here. It gets overshadowed by its sister over in Orlando. I mean, the Universal Orlando Resort is amazing. And that's not to say this park is bad or anything, but there just isn't, there's not a lot to do at this park when you compare it to, say, Disneyland or even Knott's Berry Farm. So I think Universal really wants to change that. And they've been hitting it out of the park with their latest additions. I mean, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter did amazing. Super Nintendo World did amazing. So I don't know if they're just going to stop and call it a day. They want that trajectory to keep going, and they want the attendance to keep going up because they see that return. And Brian Roberts, who's the CEO of Comcast, said years ago, as long as they're seeing the ROI coming back from the parks, they're going to keep giving the parks as much money as they want. So screw it. Here's another $10 billion. And we're going to build another theme park. Screw it, here's another couple billion, and we'll expand this park. Screw it, here's another couple billion to build 400 cotton candy stands. Do what you got to do. As long as we keep seeing the money and people are happy, then it works out great. So I think Universal Studios Hollywood is about to get something major. And that is really exciting. And hey, this could all be nonsense and I'm just a psycho theme park nerd. And that's fine. But I think this is going to be, yeah, I don't know. I think this is going to be something big. I think Mark was very clear when he said, I want people to think of us first, not Disney. And those are some strong words. They're very confident in what they want to do. So we shall see what happens. I don't know if they're going to get a lot of this stuff done in time for the Olympics because the Olympics are in 2028. So we might see one more new thing, but an expansion in general, I have a feeling it's about to happen. And before I officially move on to the rest of the park, here's my one wish though for all these expansions. I hope we get a show. Waterworld is not enough. We need another stage show in the park. They took away animal actors and special effects for Fast and the Furious, and hey, I am super stoked for Fast and the Furious. But since this is the Hollywood park, I would hope that they have more really cool shows in the pipeline because I feel like out of all the parks, the one that's centered in Los Angeles, that's all, surrounded by the entertainment business, should have a couple shows. Time to move on and let's hit up the studio tour. It has no wait. That is awesome. I will take it. Ooh, look at this. They've taken down the Fast and the Furious marketing. Yeah, it is gone. That ship has sailed, which I'm happy for. That was not a good attraction. I'm glad they got rid of it. Being straight up. And that goes for Orlando as well. I hope they take care of the one in Orlando and replace it with something cool. Oh, look at this here on the studio tour sign. Still hanging on. Already just got off the studio tour. It was nice to get back on Earthquake because the past couple times that I've done the studio tour, it was closed, but they've reopened it. So that was really cool. Got some really good views of the Fast and the Furious coaster. I was near the back car, so I tried to get the best view I could, but it was a little difficult where I was sitting. But nonetheless, still looking great. And then, yeah, they have some fencing up over behind Transformers. Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with Horror Nights just yet. That probably has to do with the Universal Fan Fest event that's happening here in the next few weeks. So they might just keep that stuff up once they start construction on the Halloween Horror Nights haunted houses come probably like April or May, just depending on if there's going to be a haunted house back there. If it's like previous years, we're probably going to see one back there. And then, yeah, just in general, looking at that section of the lot, you really start to wonder, is this going to be the next expansion plot for the park? Or is it going to be by Fast and the Furious since, we totally drive right by that old attraction, which they don't even mention, by the way. At least they didn't mention it on my tram tour. They just pretended like it wasn't even there. So very interesting stuff. And I can't wait to see what they do with that building in the future. This weather is like interesting today. Before I got on the studio tour, it was like nice and sunny. And then the minute I get on the studio tour, it's like freezing cold. And of course I didn't bring a jacket, so I'm like dying. And then the minute I get off, it's like starting to clear up again. What the heck is going on? Okay, I made it back to the parking structure. I had to cut the video short because it is way too cold. I didn't bring a jacket like an idiot. And it's starting to rain, so yeah, I'm gonna have to cut it short. We at least got some Fast and the Furious updates in there. And what else? Oh, rode the studio tour. So for a minute, I just forgot what was going on because I'm so cold. But I hope you enjoyed this very quick update from Universal Studios Hollywood. I'll be back at the park in a couple days because I have a feeling they're going to install some more track. There's not that many pieces left for Fast and the Furious. They're probably going to get that done in the next couple weeks, which is really exciting. So I'll be back. But if you enjoyed today's video, you can let me know by smashing the thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel and you love these little updates from Universal Studios Hollywood or some of your other favorite theme parks, well, you should consider subscribing because I have brand new videos every single week that you won't want to miss out on. And also be sure to follow me on X and Instagram. Those links will be down below in the description. But until the next video, I hope you have a beautiful day, morning, evening, whatever it is. And I'll see you next time in the parks. Bye.